Aggreko and its local joint venture partner Shanduka will supply 107 megawatts of gas-fired power to Mozambique and South Africa. That's set to help plug the electricity shortage in the region. So we spoke to Rupert Soames, who is Chief Executive of Aggreko, for more on this.
We're building a power station on the South African-Mozambique border that is going to provide power both to South Africa and to Mozambique for the next 2 years. And it's an absolutely unique project. I don't think anything like this has been done before. We have got partners with whom we have got a gas supply. We're building the power station, and there is a short window of about 2 years when there's enough gas to be able to nip in there, provide about 107 megawatts, and about 92 megawatts going to Eskom, and the balance going to EDM, the Mozambique utility. Yeah. And it's going to help both countries in the short term manage their power requirements.
Who brought you here?
Who brought it? Well, we've been doing business here in Africa now for...
I meant in this project. Who approached you? Were you approached by Eskom? Was that
no,
EDM?
Actually, we found it ourselves. We got to hear that there was some gas. I mean, in our business, finding the fuel is often the hardest thing, and we got to hear that there was maybe some gas that was not being utilised for a 2-year period, and we then approached Eskom and EDM and said, if we can put a power plant in there for 2 years temporarily, will you buy the energy? And they were, I think, delighted to do so because it's extra energy for them. They don't have to make any investment. They just pay for the kilowatt hours. There's no risk for them.
Yeah, and so you bring these two utilities together, and you mentioned that this is the first of its kind. Are we likely to see more deals such as this? Because we do know that there is a huge energy gap in Southern Africa.
And I'm glad you used the word Southern Africa. Southern Africa is blessed by one of the best infrastructures in terms of transmission in the world. It's very sophisticated. It runs from Cabora Bassa in the north through to the big power plants in South Africa, up through Zambia and Zimbabwe. But there's a chronic lack of generation capacity on it. And what is exciting over the last few years is the creation of the South African Power Pool, which is a mechanism by which countries can share the power between them. But the trouble is there's just not enough generating capacity there.
Absolutely. Southern Africans will tell you that we've been waiting for the SADC Power Pool for many, many years.
So what we are doing is that now we found some gas, we got a gas supply, we're coming in to provide, it's not a huge amount of energy, but it's a start. And I think that if we can make a success of this, it will encourage other companies to come along and start supplying cross-border energy, because Mozambique is going to be, I think, one of the great energy hubs of the region.
Is gas the future for Southern Africa, do you think, in terms of bringing in that extra capacity?
Well, like everything in life, there is no one answer. There has to be a multiplicity of answers. And South Africa will see a huge investment in renewables in terms of wind and hydro. It will probably see an investment in nuclear, but it's going to need gas. And in this battle, and it is a battle, to provide enough energy to keep the economies growing. I mean, the amount of suffering that can be avoided and the amount of growth that can be brought by providing people with electricity, it's a real challenge. You've got to use every weapon at your disposal, and gas is one of them.
Gas will be one of them. Now, you are taking on two utilities between in two different countries. Some would say you're taking on double political risk, economic risk in terms of the project itself. Are you not concerned about the probability that in terms of managing this project, you're dealing with two utilities here, and we know that there are political issues on both sides of the borders?
We've been doing business in Africa for a very long time. We have installed over 1,300 megawatts of new capacity in 20 countries in Africa over the last 10 years. That's more than anybody else except the Chinese. So we've got a lot of experience with this. We are completely happy with the way. The main thing being is that nobody's got any incentive to do anything else other than take the electricity. And you know, we've had very good relationships with the Mozambique utility, and likewise with Eskom.